Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Pamela, and I am on a weight loss journey. I am using compounded trizepatide injections, and I am on my seventh dose. I just completed 6 full weeks, and we're going to go ahead and get into the injection. Currently, I am taking, well, last week I took 5 milligrams, and I think I'm going to go down just a little bit from that because I feel like the 5 milligrams is maybe a little too strong. The appetite suppression is a little bit much right now. So I'm going to back it down, not all the way to 2.5 because I felt like I was still getting a lot of food noise and not enough suppression with that. So I'm going to kind of go somewhere in between, which is the good thing when you're using the compounded trizepatide because you can customize your doses. So since I feel like 2.5 was not enough and 5 is a little too much, I'm going to go right in between and see how that works for me. So I've got my vial. I've already washed my hands. They are clean. I'm going to clean off the top of the vial and draw up the syringe. So for my compound, 2.5 was 15 milligrams and 5, I mean, sorry, 2.5 was 15 units. So 5 was 30 units. So I'm going to go at about 22 units. And for that, I will need my glasses because I cannot see. Clean this a little bit again just in case it touched my hair. And make sure I get this at the right amount. So I've got my syringe here, and for those who haven't seen, it is a very tiny needle. I'm going to stick that right in here, and we're going to do about 22. So I'm going to pull it just about to the 25. Well, I've got it a little bit further, and then I'm going to pump it back up just to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. So that's 25, and that is about 22. And I'm going to put this back in the box so it can stay clean. And we're going to do my thigh today. I did my right thigh the week before last, and I did my left thigh last week. So this week I'm going to do my right thigh again, and I'm just going to make sure I don't go in the same spot that I did last week, which was more of my upper thigh. So I'm going to go right about here. Let me just clean that off. And all right, so that is done, and it is almost 6:15. So I took my dose a little bit earlier last week because I felt like I needed the extra suppression earlier in the day. Normally I take it between 5 and 7 p.m. So I'm right about on time this week, and I feel like the 5 milligrams worked really well. My side effects weren't that bad. The main problem that I had this week was getting in enough protein. So that is why I decided to go down just a little bit. I didn't want to go all the way back down to 2.5, but I don't think I need the full 5 milligrams. So hopefully this will work a little bit better for me this week. Let me get rid of this just so it's not sitting here. Again, I started my journey at 196.9 pounds. And at last week's weigh-in, I was 186.3. Then today I got on the scale, and let me talk about this. Have you ever had those days where you get on the scale and, well, my scale, I have an app, so it connects to my phone and it Bluetooths the number to my phone so I can keep track of it in my phone. But have you ever had one of those days where you get on the scale and it says one thing and then you get off and you get right back on and it says something else? Well, today was one of those days for me. I got up this morning and when I got on the scale the first time, it said 182.8. And I'm like, yes. So then I went and grabbed my phone to get my number in my phone. And when I got back on the scale, it came up at 183.0. And no matter how many times I got off the scale and got back on and picked up something heavy to reset the scale and got back on it without it, it still said 183.0. But you know what? That is still a loss of 3.3 pounds from last week's weigh in. So I am ecstatic about that. Again, oh, and that is 13.9 pounds from my starting weight. So I'm really happy about the progress this week. The only thing I'm disappointed with, again, is that I was having a hard time getting in my protein. Now, also, I've been sick this week. I'm feeling a little bit better today, thankfully. But this week, I woke up the day after Christmas with a sore throat and some congestion. And then I started taking Mucinex DM, and I was feeling better over the weekend, but then Sunday I felt like I had a stomach bug, so I was sick all day Sunday, and I had stopped taking the Mucinex by this time, and I was taking NyQuil at night. I stopped all of that, but then Monday or Tuesday, one of those days, I woke up with a sore throat and congestion again. So I think a lot of the not being able to eat this week may have been because of that and not necessarily because of the medicine. But even right now, I'm feeling fine, but I didn't even eat my first meal this morning until I think it was around noon. I've started tracking my daily intake and posting those over in the shorts. If you haven't seen those, go check those out. And so today, I wasn't hungry when I woke up. I didn't have a big lunch, and I've had a snack since lunch, but I'm not hungry for dinner. And so I'm going to force myself to eat something for dinner because I really need to get my protein in. But we'll talk more about that in the next video. So if you want to hear more about that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post that video. Until then, bye.